Hello, ladies and gents. It's Justin Johnson. I'm on module DD211 in Understanding Politics, Ideas and Institutions in the Modern World. I want to influence youth today, young teenagers, mature teenagers, OAPs, adults, trying to better your life circumstances, have a vision. You're going to work on that progressive progression. You need some vision. When you read, you should reference your reading. What book are you reading? Where's the book published? The book is published at the Open University, Walton Hall, Milton Keynes. First published 2015, second edition 2022. On page 73. A liberal democratic state such as the UK or the US is linked to society by free and fair elections, which produce an executive and a legislature at each level of government. This enables politicians elected to public office to speak and act on behalf of the people, and means they can be held accountable for their actions by the people. Thus, in Abraham Lincoln's famous formulation, government of the people, by the people, for the people, can take place. Elections in the US and the UK are framed by the political systems within which they take place and in which political parties operate. The UK's parliamentary system and unitary state, and the UK's presidential system and federal state. This chapter therefore set out to comment on the function of the UK and US political parties and form such parties presently take, and explore their differences. Compare and contrast the US and UK party systems, briefly explore how electors make their electoral choices. Page 74, political parties in the UK and in the US. For elections to take place, political parties must exist. Parties present candidates and programs for the consideration of electors, so electors can choose between the parties that compare their own vote. Parties, for better or worse, are thus indispensable to the working of liberal democracy. This is because they facilitate political recruitment and links citizens to political institutions, thereby enabling representative government. Obviously, not every citizen can serve in an executive or a legislator. Citizens have to select those who will represent them and speak and act for them. Political parties thus provide the choice between alternative and competing representatives. By offering candidates and policy programs, they help determine which actors hold with legislative and executive posts at national, regional and local levels. These matters are often discussed at party conventions in the US and a party conference in the UK. Parties began life within legislature as loose organisations of like-minded individuals who handed together to cooperate and to try to influence the decisions of the legislator in their favour. But as the franchise was gradually extended to provide for the popular election of legislators and leaders, parties had to reach out beyond the closed world of pre-democratic legislators to seek voters by persuading electors to return their candidates to the legislature. Parties thus operate and elections are organised within the following environmental context: the institutional environment, the constitutional rules, the political system, and the electoral rules. The electoral environment, the party system, electoral strength, status and standing of parties, the ideological environment, ideological appeal and relevance. In terms of ideas, parties help formulate public policy by presenting competing programmatic alternatives at an election. Parties are composed of all like-minded individuals who broadly share the same worldview with certain differences in terms of ideas and ideologies. They tend to be liberal, conservative or socialist. But they can also be nationalist or regionalist. In the UK and US, the principal fault line dividing the parties in between left and right. In the UK, the main parties variously embrace some form of liberalism, conservatism or socialism, with these ideologies often being blurred and liberalism finding reflection to some extent in every party. In the US, the dividing line between the parties is between liberalism and conservatism. Socialism in the US has very much been a fringe interest. Parties exist to mobilise support for their ideas and to secure the return of their candidates at an election. The form that parties take. Their structure and organisation has changed radically over the past 100 or so years. This form reflects the political system and often the political culture within which the parties operate. Modern UK and US parties are functionally different because the political systems of the UK and the US are different. UK parties are hierarchical. They are elitist and centralist. Parties such as Labour, the Conservatives, and Liberal Democrats reflect the UK parliamentary unitary state. They also now reflect the Union state, with the Scottish and the Welsh parts of each of these unionist parties being given greater autonomy to manage their own affairs, north or west of the border with England. Throughout the UK, those members of the party in office, the party's parliamentary representatives play the leading role within the party. From among these representatives, the party leadership, plural, has the greatest influence on the policy and programme of this party. Within the leadership, plural, the party leader, singular, has become the most significant actor in the party. By contrast, US parties are flatter rather than being so hierarchical. Such parties have no leader, singular. Only leaders, plural, operating within the different branches of the federal government and among the 50 states of the Union. UK parties remain membership organisations. Any citizen is able to pay the membership fee, and it is free to join the party, participate in its work, and perhaps seek to become an elected representative. US parties, however, the supporters rather than the members, citizens who register as a supporter of the party can play some part in selecting party candidates for office. But they cannot join the party because it has no membership. In theory, any citizen identifying the Republicans or the Democrats can seek the party's nomination for any elected office. In practice, those seeking public office need connections and a great deal of money, with which to campaign. In the UK, party members play a role in selecting candidates and electing party leaders, but some 98.5% of the UK population did not belong to a political party in 2002. Gamble and Wright. 2002 to page 131. The party membership as a percentage of the population said to have fallen to an all-time low of 0.8% in 2013 and apparently rising to 1.7% in 2019. Calculated from various coverage, today's younger, better educated are much less likely to join a political party than were previous generations. The handful of new members who do join tend to be inactive and often allow their membership to lapse. Party membership has fallen precipitously in the past 60 years. Choosing election candidates, modern party structures. In the UK, demanding membership has encouraged a further professionalisation of the party ranks. The thinner ranks of an amateur party members can be increasingly distinguished from the professional party members. Young, ambitious, would-be politicians, many working as party officials, special advisors and parliamentary staffers, or else employed by the think tanks, trade unions, or the growing number of political consultancies. It is these professional party members who increasingly populate party structures. The professionalisation of MPs, where middle-class, university-educated career politicians carve out a niche in public life becoming MPs. It's not only a modern fact of the parliamentary scene, but a key feature of the modern political party. This owes much to the fact that parties with fewer and fewer members become more and more unrepresentative of the electorate at large. Thus, in the UK, party members with considerable gatekeeping by party leadership select to provide the candidates for public office by voting at local meetings. MPs must in practice be members of the local party. Only truly independent non-party candidates have been elected to the House of Commons since 1945, given that only 1.7% of the UK electorate are members of any political party. This means that some 98.3% of citizens are in practical terms ineligible to become an MP, even if in theory they are entitled to become one. Not only has the number of party members fallen at all-time low, but the number of members taking part in the selection of parliamentary candidates is lower still. Take the case Labour MP Jack Dromey, who was selected to fight the seat of Birmingham Erdington by votes of 65%, members to 47 in 2010. As Erdington was a very safe Labour seat with a guaranteed Labour majority, Dromey duly won the seat at the election. Thus, combined votes of some 112 Labour votes, members sufficed to put Dromey in Parliament on a turnout of 53%, with a majority of 3,277. This is not an unusual situation, and all too often, candidates favoured by the party leadership are parachuted into safe seats. By contrast, nearly all party candidates in the US are chosen in direct primary elections involving registered voters who have been declared their support for a particular party. The vote to choose in competitive election the party candidates to fight the election in the autumn. We can leave that there, page 78. Thank you very much.